Hey my royalty, welcome again to my channel. First of all, I like to say Happy New Year, guys. 2020, we are here. This is a brand new start. This is a brand new decade. You have the ability to change things if you put your mind to it and just, create a new path so that you could get a new outcome. So today's video, guys, is about how I found my husband. And I wanted to bring this to you because, as single women, especially when we get older, it's something that we think about. Even though we're independent and things like that, we do think about. So I just want to let you know my experience and what changed for me in order for me to find my husband. I'm actually 50 years old and I've been married for 6 months, almost 7 months. And I found my husband at 47. So now I'm going to put a twist. My husband found me. So let's start with that. My husband found me. My husband found me. You don't find your husband finds you. And there's scriptures in the Bible about how your husband finds you. I will actually put those scriptures from the Bible below. I'm not going to elaborate on it. It's up to you as an individual to decide if you want to read it. I don't want to get too spiritual on this video, but I do want you to know that a connection with a man is very spiritual. It is your soulmate, and I will get into that. So let's start by, I kind of tricked you guys. Your husband finds you. So how does that process look like? And again, this is for me. Everyone's different. I'm explaining to you guys my process. So let's start by, you have to be so disgusted with your situation. Like, you have to be at a place where you are disgusted. You can't take it anymore. It almost feels like you're tired of fighting. You feel weak. When you've been fighting. I know I had a few fights back in the day, but you've been fighting, and like, you're so tired. It's like you just want to open your arms and say, whatever happens, happens. You have to be at a point to like that. Like, you have to be disgusted and nauseated by your situation, by your outcome, how people have been treating you. You feel like you've just been trampled on. And I know that is not good, but that is what works for me. Again, it could be mentally, it could be, it could be even domestic violence. I mean, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a time where times are just bad. But besides the physical, mentally and spiritually, you just feel exhausted. I am looking at my notes because I really went deep inside with this video and I wanted to bring it to you. So when I look over here, it's because I don't want to miss anything that I wrote when I was really doing some introspection to bring this to you. So it's almost like you realize, I deserve more. What am I doing? It has to be that moment that you just can't take it anymore. I'm going to give you an example of what happened to me. So I was dating this guy, and I was always that chick. When you told me you was with a guy for 4 years, I'd be like, oof, I would never date a guy for 4 years. Like, he ain't put a ring on it, you giving it for free. That was me. So thank God I've changed and not judge people, because here I am. I ended up in the same situation. Was with this guy. I moved to Florida from New York, and I was dating him for a while, and it was just great. But I just felt like, okay, a year went by, a year and a half. I felt like I needed to bring up the discussion of what I am looking for, which I think you should do at the beginning. But this was just my situation. And then here it was, yeah, I want to be my wife, but blah, 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 get my finance. It was always an excuse. So here I was 4 years later hearing the same thing. 4 years of my life. Time is of the essence, ladies. Your time is so valuable. You can't get that back. And I'm not telling you to put the pressure on these men or whatever, but for me, 4 years was too much of hearing someone saying pretty much, I'm still thinking about it. Even though that's not what he was saying, that's what he was saying, okay? So, that's important that you realize that time is not of the essence. So I realized, like, not that it took me 4 years, but there was times where I was like crying, like, why isn't this person trying to stay with me? That is not a good place to be. I shouldn't have to wonder that. I never wanted to be that person to date for 4 years. You don't get me wrong, you do have to compromise when you meet people. And you say, oh, I'm not compromising. You do. You have to compromise in life. And for me, what that looks like, not compromising, was I had this checklist of what I wanted. And I met someone that treated me nice. That was the opposite. He was short. I wanted dark skin. I got light skin. You know, you can't put, you think you're putting your guy in a box, but you're really putting yourself in a box. Look for someone that's going to treat you good and treat you well. That's important. So I was at a point where I was disgusted. I couldn't take it anymore. I knew someone was using me. Don't get me wrong, we had a great time, but my worth. And that's what I want to get to. You are responsible for your story, how it is written. Yes, God or whoever you believe in is the creator and he dictates, but you have free will, you have choices, and you have a choice to dictate your story. I was hoping that this man would change the script of my story. You hear what I'm saying? I was hoping this man would change the script of the story. I was actually giving this individual control over my story when I knew what I wanted. Maybe I didn't know my worth at that time. I don't know. But I'm going to get to that. I should have dictated what I wanted. I should have been straight up and straight up front. Because let's be real. If someone is comfortable saying what they don't want, which is fine, we all should, or what they're not ready for, why was not comfortable to say what I wanted? You know what I'm saying? So speak up, speak your truth, speak your story, speak what your story looks like in the universe. Like I said, we do all compromise to some degree. And at this point, I wasn't blaming him. It was no one's fault but mine, because I didn't let this man know that I'm not putting up with this. You don't go in there saying, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. I'm out. You just basically say, hey, by 2-3 years, this is what 2-3 years look like for me. Is that what it looks like for you? If you feel this is the person you want to be with. You don't just do that with anybody. And like I said, time is of the essence. If you are dating someone and you see a lot of red flags, we gotta move on. Because you know what I realized? Remember, my soulmate was already there, but because I had that person and I saw the red flags, I didn't release it in order for my king to come in. You see what I'm saying? So knowing is great. Knowing that the person isn't good for you, just as much as it's great knowing that someone is. So be comfortable with that process. Yeah, it might hurt for a little bit or whatever, but be comfortable that the truth is being released to you quickly so that your king could come in, or the experience that you need to come in, or that you can take time for yourself. You see what I'm saying? So let's get to the big part. Knowing your worth. I'm gonna speak for myself. I struggle with this. Now, when you meet me, you'll be like, oh my gosh, she has so much confidence or whatever. But did I really know my worth from being in this situation? Now, let's define what that means for me, okay? So it doesn't mean like what you could bring to the table, like financially. Okay, so yeah, that could have part. But I'm just talking about like this core, this essence, this spiritual, this worth of a woman, this queen that we are. The Bible says that you are God's masterpiece. Let's ponder on that for a second. I'm God's masterpiece? Like, are you like, I had to ponder on that for a while. And when I really grasped that, something happened to me that I was like, oh no, oh no. Knowing your worth, how do you know your worth? Maybe you haven't gotten to the place where you feel that you're worth much. Maybe you've had people in your life telling you you weren't worth much. Maybe you were treated by the same people that gave birth to you worthless. Maybe you told your own self, oh boy, wow, I'm gonna get deep here because I'm speaking, like I said, I'm not speaking about y'all, I'm speaking about me. Maybe you told your own self that you weren't worth enough, that you weren't deserving. And sometimes we could be our own worst, demise, our own worst critic, because people are saying, you're so beautiful, you're so nice, you have a great spirit. I wasn't even able to take compliments. I'll be like, for real? Oh, thank you. Like, I wasn't even believing in myself when people believed in me. And that is what was my demon. I'm gonna go there. Okay. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know my worth myself. And I honestly feel that people could see that. I honestly feel that men could see that. I honestly feel that these men or women, whoever you date or the person, it doesn't matter, that they could see that you don't feel confident, that you don't know your worth. And unfortunately, people take advantage of that. So I had to find my own worth. And how I did that was by, so in my head, I was hearing things, not like schizophrenia or anything, but I was telling myself stuff. There was things that happened in my past that made me feel worthless. So what I had to do was change the script, change the voices, change the repeating of things that I heard or felt. And how I had to do that was input things that are positive. I had to surround myself around people who were positive. I had to get rid of people that weren't positive. I had to sit in my stillness. I had to sit in my stillness and be by myself. I had to listen to gospel music. I had to read books that were positive, encouraging. I looked at documentaries about women who came from nothing and what they did. I spoke to grandmothers. I started inputting positive things. I started reading the Bible and listening to what God said about me. I had to change the script that was repeating in my head. So I had to void a lot of negativity that I was pulling within myself and now create positive input constantly. Like, I had to memorize stuff that I pondered on. I'm God's masterpiece. I have dominion over all living things. God said, ask anything in my name and it will be done. This is spiritual. It could be yoga. It could be anything positive it could be anything spiritual. It could be meditation on you and your breath. I had to input positive thoughts in my head. I listened to T.D. Jakes. He loves to encourage women and talk about how we are God's masterpiece. T.D. Jakes, fool. Okay, that's my boy. He don't even know it. That's my boy right there. Because let me tell you something. When I was crying and fed up and hurting, I had to uplift myself with T.D. Jakes. I listened to Joyce Meyers. Joyce Meyers, I don't know if you guys know her story, but she was abused by a family member repeatedly, okay? And she is now speaking positivity. She used to smoke and do Bible classes. She overcame that. So you have to. You don't have a choice, because those negativities, ourselves, those people, those friends, those family members, hell, those damn parents, you know they out there, can be so negative on what they put in us that we start to believe it. We start to feed it. And so that is a point that is critical, to release those girlfriends, release those men, release those damn family members. Hell, sometimes it might be your kid. Look, if it's bringing you down, you gotta let it go. And that's hard. That's not easy. But you gotta, once you feel the positive in, you'll start to realize who you are, who our ancestors created us to be, what our ancestors have done to overcome so much, what Joyce Meyers, what so many women have gone through. And it gives you strength and power. It ignites something in you. So feeding yourself with positive things, whether it's meditation, whether it's exercising, whether it's yoga, whether it's T.D. Jakes, whether it's that old lady next door that when you strike up a conversation, she empowers you, you go for it. You start inputting and you gotta release, guys. I'm telling you, that purging, that stillness, that dealing with this without the noise, let me tell you, boo-boo, is transforming. It's transforming. So that is what happened to me. I had to fill myself, and I got closer to God. I really gave my life to God. I mean, I'm not perfect, you know. I mean, I'm just not. And no one expects me to be. There's nobody perfect. So inputting and purging is, inputting with positive and purging of the negative is hard, and it becomes freaking lonely. Because you know what's so sad? That when you're starting to do good and you tell that friend or that family member, hey, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm trying to go here, some of them won't even encourage you. Listen to what I'm saying. They won't encourage you. They'll try to talk you out of it all of a sudden, because when they call you, you don't have anything negative to talk about. Now you're boring. You have positive things. Then the phone call stops. I'm telling you. You could do bad by yourself, but why not do good and try to purge? It's hard. It's 2020. It's okay. Let me tell you right now. It's okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. You got to get on your knees. You got to cry. Sometimes you got to yell out. Sometimes you got to rock yourself. I had to rock myself crying to know that I was going to be all right. I had to cry out to God or whoever. I don't know what you believe in. I'm not trying to make this religious or anything. I'm just saying what my story was. And I had to do some serious praying. And yeah, I'm gonna put some books and things that really have helped me, some good videos that encourage me with this link, so that you guys can maybe ponder on it. Yeah, so I had to change the script. Whether you have a relationship with God, it is still filling up your vessel, your life, with words to uplift you. Reading motivational books. Buy a motivational book and read it every morning and ponder on that every day. Repeat it in your head, because you have to change what the script is in your head first before you can believe it. So that is definitely important. I didn't mean to ponder on that too long, but I just wanted you guys to understand how that purging process is very lonely. It's hard, and the temptation will come up where you want to pick up the phone, or you want to go to do whatever, you know, with things that aren't positive for you. So after that, I really started to feel good about myself. I got rid of the 4-year boyfriend that was never going to marry me. I really got into myself. I started feeling good, and I was now comfortable being by myself. So yeah, where Saturdays he would call me and say, hey, let's go for a drive, let's have lunch. Saturdays came and I had that itch like, oh God, I have nowhere to go. So I started creating my own path, my own story. I started doing things with myself. But because I was so used to doing things with my friend, I joined a hiking club. It's called 52. They have 52 hike, but it's called Outdoor Afro. And Outdoor Afro, what it is a group. It's a national group, and they encourage minorities, Chinese, Black, Spanish, whatever minorities, to do the outdoor thing, like hiking, camping, things I've never done that I've always wanted to do. I joined them. I will post their link also below. They are pretty much in every state. Also, there's a great app called Meetup. Let me write all this stuff down because I want to put this in the description link for you guys. Meetup is an app you can download, and you basically put what you like. So let's say you like biking, or you like opera, or you like dog parks with your dog, or you like going to lounges and listen to jazz. You put that in the Meetup. You put your you'll show your area, and it will show you groups in your area that do things like that. If you like sports cars, if you like Jeep Wranglers, there's a group for everything. So I downloaded the app Meetup. It's MEETUP, and I put in hiking. And I also was into going to the range, going to the gun range. I like firearms and stuff like that, and training with that. So I did a group with that. I found a group with that, and actually got really into it, became the vice president of that group. I'm no longer doing that, but I became the vice president of a firearm club, an African-American woman. I did camping with 20 people, like in a tent, like canteen. And I started to like, oh my God, this is a whole world out here. So now, excuse me, here we are. I know my worth. I'm still motivationally finding myself. Exercising, I'm hiking, I'm doing things I love. I'm meeting people that I have things in common with. I'm laughing. I am now exuding this energy, okay, that I'm not even aware of. It's just happening. I'm staying at home and reading a book that I always wanted to do. And now I'm exuding this energy that people are seeing. They're like, you're glowing, or you look so happy, you in love and stuff like that. No, I'm in love with me for now, okay? So, you know, so that process started happening. People are seeing it. People are watching me from afar and come up to me and say, I just have to tell you, like, you're beautiful. And I'm like, thank you, thank you. You know, it's me inside. I'm glad you see that, but I feel good inside as well. And they're like, I can see that. So it's like this process that started happening, and I believe in energy. I believe in the universe is just so spiritual. Things don't just happen. So that started happening. I joined those groups, and I started running. I started exercising. I started setting goals for myself, and, you know, knowing my worth at this point, you know, feeling good, like, hey, I can hike. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm bonding with people, and that really was a turning point for me. And I can honestly say I started feeling happy, and content and with myself, and I was fine. And I remember one day, I'm trying not to cry because this was so relieving, but pinnacle. I remember crying, and I dropped to my knees in my apartment. I put my hands up and I said, I take this searching for a soulmate, I give it all to you. I release it. I am your wife now. You're my husband. You're looking out for me. I'm fine. And when I said it, it was real, because it's like I just released it. Because we don't realize, like, looking for that soulmate, we don't think it's a burden. But if you put the time of, if somebody was clocking the minutes of your thoughts or things we did to hopefully find out the soulmate, it's a lot. It's a lot. And releasing that was a pinnacle part of my life, and it felt great. So I was really getting into these clubs. I was just really exercising, going to the gym. I was, you know, helping other women at the gun range and just getting involved, and just, it was just great. Awesome. Going to the gym twice a day. It was just, I was meeting girlfriends in the park to work out. It was just like, I was just doing it. And that is the part I want to get to. You got to take time to invest in yourself. You know, when you go to a Gucci store, right? That nice Gucci bag you like, there is no way in hell you can convince that salesperson to give you that bag for $5. You can't. You could do all the talking, you could have all the game, you could look nice, smell good. That salesperson knows what that worth of that bag is. They know. They'll look at you like crazy, and they might even walk away from you, because how dare you tell them you want that bag for $5? This is how I looked at myself. No one is ever going to disrespect me in any way, to show or explain to me that they feel that I'm worth than less than what I know I'm worth, what less than what, you know, all these inputs that I know I'm worth a lot, what these other women have done. Okay, no. So that is how deep it is. You can't go in a Gucci store and tell the lady that you want that bag, the Gucci bag, for $5. She about $5. You can't tell you want it for $5. It's just not going to happen. So number one, boom, done. And that person who is in charge of those bags are going to make sure it's in a container, a bag. I forgot what y'all call those bags, but it's going to make sure it's in a box. It's going to also invest in keeping it worth that amount. So that's what I was doing. I was investing in myself. And just to close a little bit, you know, like I said, it can get lonely, but at the end of the day, you can't think that doing the same thing is going to give you a different outcome. I'm going to repeat that. You can't think that doing the same thing is going to give you a different outcome. There's a scripture that says you can't put wine in old skins. So if I'm a little incorrect, long time ago, they used to put wine in skins. I'm going to give you the scripture. And if the skin is old and you put in fresh wine, the wine's going to burst out. So if you want to put freshness in, you new, things have to change. They just have to change. You have to become a new person mentally, physically, maybe. I don't know. You don't have to. I mean, if you want to change your health, things like that, that's what I mean. So you have to change. You can't do the same thing and think you're going to get the same outcome. Be realistic on what you want, because it's not fair that you box yourself in to what love looks like. You don't know what love looks like. You don't know what it looks like physically. Yeah, okay, I don't want no guy with one eye. I don't want a guy with an eye over here, and mine is already like that. So, but what I'm saying is, he got to be this height. He got to be this complexion. He got to make 6 figures. Okay, yeah, that's great and everything. But you know what? It's a partnership. Don't put on men what you can't bring to the table. So you want somebody with 7 figures? Are you making 7 figures? You want somebody with the house, the big house? Do you have the big house? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to stop all that. That's great. You do deserve the best. I'm not saying that, ladies. But don't put yourself in a small box. All right? Put yourself here in that heart. Yes, you got to pay bills. Yes, if you're successful, you have your PhD. You want a man that's working towards himself too. I'm sorry, I even tell my daughter that. Like, that's important. But don't put yourself in a little box. So surrendering was great. That was a biggie for me. Investing in myself helped me process this. So yeah. And then really, honestly, my husband, he was right under my nose and I didn't know. And I was actually praying for him because I used to see his patrol car close to where I lived. And I was praying for that officer because I knew that department was in a rough area. And I used to actually go to church in that area. So I was like, God, whoever that officer is, because it was totally away from where I lived. It was like it was rough. And where I lived was really nice. So it was kind of weird to see that person's patrol car, around, because it was kind of far. And I just decided to pray for that police officer. I'd never seen a police officer. I just started to pray for that police. So, protect them, protect the department, things like that. Very general, but it was like something I did on a regular. And sure enough, I saw him come out of the patrol car and I said, hey, my name is Samantha and I just want to let you know I'm praying for your department. I hope you guys are safe. I know that's a rough area. Very nonchalant. Long story short, we started to see each other and that is how we met. And I am married to this day. So it was a process though. It was a process. I remember walking away from him and he was just staring at me. And he said, it was just like, you were just like a light. That's what he said. So I just want to encourage you ladies for 2020. Let your husband find you and just know you can do this. You can change your script. Maybe you have nothing to change. Maybe you're like you already did it, and you're at that point where I had to be because of whatever. You've done all this already. So just be patient with yourself. Get involved in things and just be patient. He's gonna come. All right, my royalty. I just wanted to share with you guys how to live a royal life. Not on a budget, but just how to live a royal life in here. Because everything is from here and everything is from here. And I really love you guys. I really hope you guys subscribe to my channel. And if these are more videos you like to see, please hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Just let me know what you're going through. And I wish you guys all well. Be blessed. Bye.